What's going on, YouTube? Me, Zach Ryder here. Coming at you from the 405 South. Going down to visit the fam, like I do in most of my videos. I thought it might be kind of fun to talk a little about the pros and cons of only having a motorcycle. And I think I'll do the cons first. I think the biggest con is probably transportation, as in shopping and carrying things, especially this bike. I have to be pretty careful when I go shopping just to get only what I need. And it usually, I have a pretty big backpack. It's actually the one I'm wearing right now, so I can get quite a bit in there, but oh, thank you, sir. But I do have to be careful when I go shopping just to make sure I only get what I need. So I guess in that sense it's good. It keeps me from spending a crap ton of money. But that's probably the biggest thing I've noticed. Let's see what else we got. Transportation, in the sense that you can't really take people places unless it's one person and you have an extra helmet, and preferably gear as well. That could also be looked at in a pro way, because then your friends aren't like, hey, can you take me here? And you don't have to play taxi. Third would be weather. Now, I think that all weather is combatable, but you do, of course, have to deal with the extremes. It can get pretty chilly with wind chill, especially when you're up to speed on the freeway. When it gets down into the, I guess, the low 50s, maybe high 40s if we're lucky. I'm in SoCal. It doesn't really happen that often, but I'm hearing this should be a pretty cold winter, so I'll probably be experiencing that a little bit more. So you got to bundle up pretty good and come prepared, at least if you leave in the middle of the day, so you're not baking during the day. And then of course there's heat, so you have to kind of invest in some gear that is going to breathe better during the hotter months. And it's always, for the last couple years, it's been balls hot in SoCal during the tail end of summer. Like August and even the beginning of September too, it can get real hot. So dealing with the weather extremes kind of sucks. But obviously cold is easier to deal with. I like that better because you can just keep throwing shit on. But I guess that's con number 3. If you're like me and you wear your gear pretty much whenever you jump on the bike, getting your gear on, I guess, every time you go out to ride can be kind of annoying. But, and then I guess kind of, this probably goes hand in hand a little bit with it, but if you're also like me and you're paranoid about leaving your bike out somewhere for long periods of time, for instance, I work a grocery store day job, and I am super paranoid about leaving my bike out when I do the 8.5-hour shifts, especially into the evening. So I usually carry around my chain, which weighs 15 pounds. I bought that kryptonite one just because those seem to be the ones that really work. So I have that, 2 wheel locks, and a bike cover in my backpack. So that can get kind of old carrying that around, but I usually only bring the chain for work. But I've always got the disc locks and the cover. Oh yeah, one of my locks has an alarm on it too. But I guess that's another con, is just if you're paranoid, just keeping all the security equipment with you, because I mean, they are easy to steal. I mean, let's face it, if somebody wants it, they could easily take it. So I always park it in gear with the steering lock, obviously, and then I do all the other stuff too. I think those are really the 4 biggest cons. I'll throw in a few more if I can think of any, but let me go to the pros now. First and foremost, the pro, it is an absolute blast. This makes going from point A to point B so much more fun than in a car. Unless you're in some crazy expensive supercar or whatever, but that's besides the point. Most of us aren't doing that. But yeah, you know, going to work, I can look forward to my ride to work, even though it's a couple miles from where I live. It's fun. So that's probably one of the biggest benefits. The second one is gas. Oh my God. I hear people talking about how they drop 40, 50 bucks to fill up. And I can sympathize with that because I did used to have a car. I drove a Camry for a couple years. But man, I only pay $7 to fill this sucker up, especially right now with gas prices being where they are. So that's awesome. Let's see, what else? I guess like I mentioned earlier, transportation, you don't have to worry about people going, hey, can you take me here? Because they're either too scared or it's not really convenient because you have to carry around the helmet. Another pro would be, it kind of, if you practice lane splitting and you know you're moving, you still continue moving, you can get places quite a bit faster, which is kind of cool. Not only that, but that keeps the bike cool too. Oh, what's another pro? Definitely parking. You can park pretty much anywhere. Here in California, I don't know about other states, but nobody really seems to have a problem with parking on the sidewalk. I do that about half the time at work. And not only that, but if you have to pay, like I know, like at Cal State, the motorcycle parking permits are like a third the price of the car parking permits. Like I think I did, it was about $360 bucks a year for the car, whereas this is $108, I think it was. And I only really buy the year pass because I have to be able to get, like my major, sometimes I have to go to school during the off months and stuff just to practice or whatever because of music and stuff. So I just get the year one. If you just did like fall and spring semesters at Cal State Long Beach, it's like fucking $30. So it's 60 bucks basically for the year if you're not worrying about summer and winter parking. So insanely cheap. And it's convenient too. I've never had a problem parking. And it's like one of the craziest freaking busy. I mean, there are so many people that go to that school. I think last count was like 37,000 students. So that's a lot of cars. But not as many people, of course, have motorcycles. So parking is never an issue. And the benefit too is there's parking for motorcycles where other students can't park, like in staff lots and stuff. So I can kind of, I mean, in the campus, if you've ever been to Cal State Long Beach, the campus is pretty big too. So I could pretty much ride from one end to the other and park, whereas a lot of people would probably opt to leave their car somewhere. So that's kind of cool too. Okay, I've covered pros, parking, gas prices, the fun factor, transportation. Gosh, I feel like I'm missing something. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Maybe that's everything. I don't know. Those are the big ones for me. Well, I guess another con, too. I just thought of that. If you're my age, I'm 21. If you're around that age and single and stuff, insurance is going to suck on one of these. At least these in particular. Insurance has gone up. I guess there have been a lot of accidents as of late, and people in my age group on these kinds of bikes. So that could be bad. But if you're on, you know, a different kind of bike, then that's not a problem. So I guess that's kind of another negative thing. Like for me, it's $1,700 a year. If you can get in with AAA, then that's better. I hear their prices are really good on motorcycle insurance. They quoted me, I think it was like $700 a year, which is a heck of a lot less than what I'm paying now. But they require 3 years of experience or you have a car. So, and obviously I don't have my car anymore, so they weren't going to let me insure my bike, which sucks because I would love to pay $700 a year as opposed to $1,700. But whatever, that's okay. That's worth it. So I guess those are some pros and cons. If you're thinking about ditching the car and just going bike, you can do it, especially in SoCal. It never really, it rains rarely, which sucks because we're in a massive drought right now, but with weather-wise, you can pretty much get away with it. There are going to be some days where it's uncomfortable, of course, but you can always, there's some gear for every riding situation, I think. So, but it's good fun. People were telling me, you're going to regret it in a month not having a car anymore, but I've been doing the only bike thing since, let's see, been doing it for about 3 months now, and I have no regrets. I'm not getting tired of it, not at all. So, it's way fun. I mean, if you can afford to do both, then there's really no reason why you couldn't do both, or why you really shouldn't do both. I mean, because then you'll have that car for the uncomfortable weather, and then obviously the Costco trips. That's the biggest thing, is I have to get my roommates to go to Costco with me in their cars, so I can buy my groceries and stuff there. But I'm not the one with the Costco card, so that's not really a big deal. I just go with them. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts. Let me know if I missed anything, or anybody else who's solely on 2 wheels or can think of anything that I missed. But yeah, we'll go ahead and call it a day now. I'm going to sign off, and I'll talk to you guys later.